You probably find yourself feeling real anxious and nervous whenever you're in a big group of people that you don't know. Or maybe you're just with a friend and someone walks over that knows your friend and you don't know this guy and you get real closed off and barely talk. A lot of young guys have social anxiety, and I had it really bad whenever I was in high school and partially in college too. And I've really grown out of it a lot. And a big part of it for me was going to the gym. That's not what this video is about, but that's a big part of how I got out of it. But I'll touch on that later. There's one big major thing you can do to overcome the social anxiety and being like nervous around people you don't know. And there's a lot of smaller things you can implement in your life, and I'll go over those first and touch on this big thing at the end. But first of all, what you can do, and this is a big deal. Let's say you're with your friend, and I'll use the gym as an example. Let's say you and your friend are at the gym, you're working out together, but y'all stop and you're having a little conversation. Someone walks over that knows your friend, but you have no idea who they are. Now your friends are talking, or your friend and his friend are talking. You have no idea who this guy is. So you kind of feel isolated because they're talking, and this guy is like basically paying no attention to you because you have no idea who he is and he has no idea who you are. So what you want to do, the second there's a gap in their conversation, immediately introduce yourself. Just be like, "Oh yeah, I never met you before. My name's Devin. I'm friends with so and so." Whenever you do this, it makes a connection where now you know each other. So now, whenever they continue talking, you need to just insert yourself into the conversation. And if you have social anxiety, this is going to be really hard for you. But as you do it over time, it becomes more and more natural, and it's not tough at all to join in the conversation. Literally, just chime in every now and then. And then when you do that, the person who you just met includes you almost instinctually. So instead of just looking at your friend, he'll be looking over at you whenever he's talking and maybe asking you questions about whatever the topic is. And this is a huge thing for me. I didn't find this until like late, pretty somewhat recently actually. I started doing this, and man, it's like you almost just like get fully relieved of the anxiety because it almost feels like you know the person now. It happened yesterday. Same situation that I just explained. Some guy walked over, was talking to my friend, and they kind of walked up. So I was like, I'm not about to just sit here and just wait for them to finish talking. I'm gonna go over there. They were talking a little bit, and I kind of joined in. A little brief pause. I was like, yeah, I'm Devin, by the way. And boom, now I know them. I'm not just sitting there awkwardly like waiting for them to finish talking. It's like, oh, we're gonna finish working out. I'm not just don't like get like anxious like that, which is hard to say. That's what this whole video is about. But as you do that more, it kills the anxiety. And another small thing you can do is just throughout your day, when you see someone who you feel a genuine interest in, just say hey to them or smile at them. Just small little social interactions like that will build your confidence and it'll make you a lot more anxious. It'll be hard at first. Once you do it a couple times, you're like, well, that's really not bad at all. And you kind of just progressively overload this. And when you get comfortable with smiling at people or saying, hey, maybe just try to have a conversation every now and then. Say, hey, how you doing today? And kind of build from there. And that's just a very small thing you can do, but you'd be surprised how much it'll help. There's a I'll explain that further on too. But I made a video about flirting with the world, but I'll explain that on my last big point. And another small thing you can do is just practice being charismatic and try to learn it as a skill. When you're speaking, use your body more. I've been trying to do that, especially in my videos. I've been trying to use my body, my hand, like kind of just like use my hands and my body to talk whenever I'm talking. Smile more. Whenever you smile, it makes people associate smiling with you, so they see you as a happy person, and whenever they think about you, maybe they'll smile or they just have like a positive memory whenever they think of you, and it makes them like you more. So just smile more and practice being charismatic. Learn it as a skill. Read books on it if you really want to, and just really try to be a likable person. Whenever you're doing this, they don't. It's not like there's like accepting you to be there. They actually genuinely want you there, and it enhances the social interaction, and they're happy for you to be there. Now, the big way to overcome social anxiety. This is a very long process. It's not something that's just you're gonna snap your fingers and you're over social anxiety. So, along with these smaller things, you got to put all these small, or you don't have to, but pick some small things that you can put into practice. And over time, you're gaining experience. And the advice I'm about to give is not like a sexy answer. It's not something that you can just do and it's like, okay, I don't have social anxiety anymore. Oh, what was I worried about that for? It's something that over a period of time, it could be a month, it could be a year, it could be multiple years, depending on the person, depending on how bad your social anxiety is, it'll really help. And for me, it was about 2 years. I basically have no social anxiety now. Maybe if I'm at like a party, I don't know anybody there, I'd be like kind of anxious, but even then, it's like I'm really pretty much over it. You got to just understand that there's no reason to be anxious. If people don't like you, they don't like you. But what you need to do is simply develop experience in social settings. The reason you're anxious about it is because you haven't been exposed to it much. If you start doing things that make you feel social, you're going out, maybe you go to bars, you go to the gym, any place where there's a lot of people and you're around them, you maybe have to talk to them. It's going to be weird at first if you never do it. But as time goes and you're doing it more and more, you build experience. And that's what I'm saying. It's not a sexy answer, but that's just how it works. It's with any skill. Social skills are something that just come over time. That they develop as you talk to more people, meet new people. And like I said, you may struggle at first, but to just implement these small things in your life. And then, well, I mentioned flirting with the world. Just as you go about your day, just try to have small interactions with people. If you're at the cash register at a gas station, ask the cashier how their day's going. If you're at the gym, you never met somebody before, somebody smiles at you, just wave at them, give them a nod, or start a small conversation. Small things like that, you'd be amazed how much they build your confidence. Just going through like this smile at another person, wave at this person, talk to this person. You'd be amazed how these small things will boost your confidence and make you feel more comfortable doing it in the future. And obviously, like I said, parties and stuff are a lot of the people who with social anxiety's biggest thing. That was my biggest thing, was just big groups of people. Smaller groups weren't too bad, but really a big thing is introduce yourself as soon as possible. That first point I made, introduce yourself as soon as you can, and this person will feel a connection with you, and it's like you're friends now. If you don't introduce yourself and you just stand there, they're gonna think you're weird, and they won't even try to include you in the conversation. And then insert yourself in the conversation as soon as you can as well. Both of those things are a huge deal if it's like a smaller group of and it's people you don't know. Now, on top of that, let's say they do think you're weird. That's probably going to spike your social anxiety because you're not saying anything. You're like, oh, he thinks I'm weird. He thinks I'm weird. He's not going to talk to me. Don't bubble yourself up like that. Just remember, if he thinks you're weird, who the fuck cares? Just stop thinking about it. And it sounds easier than it is. Like it's a very hard thing to do, but you'll understand as time goes. Like it really doesn't matter. You probably won't see these people, and if you do, if they don't like you, it really does not matter. Life goes on, and you'll find people you do like. But if you put these small things into practice, you'll eventually overcome this. And if you actually try to go out and be social, you're going to overcome it no matter what. These things are, it's just something, a part of life. Anxiety, everybody has it at some points. Some people have just normal anxiety. Social anxiety is just a lack of social skills. Just build your social skills, give it time, gain experience, and it'll be like nothing for you. Yeah, if you like this kind of content, please subscribe and leave a comment if you agree, disagree, or your take on this. If you got any other tips for anybody, just let us know. See you in the next video.